Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, President Trump signs an executive order curbing state regulation of AI, and OMB lays out new requirements for federal agencies to prevent woke AI. It's Friday, December 12th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. And now let's dive into the day's top headlines. President Donald Trump signed an executive order Thursday to limit states' ability to regulate artificial intelligence and pave the way for a minimally burdensome national policy framework for the emerging technology. The move caps a months-long saga among policymakers in Washington over how to regulate the rapidly evolving technology at the federal level, as states take matters into their own hands in the absence of any nationwide standards. The order is a significant win for several major AI developers that argue that a patchwork of state AI regulations hampers innovation and competitiveness on the global stage. Its provisions have the potential to impact the hundreds of state laws. The directive calls for the Attorney General to establish an AI litigation task force that will be responsible for challenging state AI laws that are inconsistent with the order. This includes laws that the order says unconstitutionally regulate interstate commerce, are preempted by existing federal regulations, or are otherwise unlawful in the Attorney General's judgment. It also gives the heads of the Federal Trade Commission and the Federal Communications Commission some power over specific state laws and reporting or disclosure standards. Signing the executive order in the Oval Office, President Trump emphasized the U.S.'s need to lead the world in AI, telling reporters, quote,
"We're leading China, we're leading everybody by a tremendous amount."
And now in other news, the Office of Management and Budget released long-awaited guidance on Thursday that outlined how federal agencies are expected to ensure that AI models are unbiased when procured and deployed by the government. The memo from OMB Director Russell Vought addresses some questions that arose after President Donald Trump signed an executive order last July to prevent woke AI in the federal government. That order, signed alongside the White House's AI action plan, stated that federal government has an obligation not to procure models, quote, that sacrifice truthfulness and accuracy to ideological agendas, unquote. The order did not provide details on how agencies should evaluate models and directed OMB to issue guidance. The 7-page memo fulfills this directive by outlining how agencies must approach contractual requirements for new partnerships, modify existing contracts, and update their procurement policies. Under the directive, agencies are required during the procurement process to obtain sufficient information from AI vendors to ensure the large language models comply with the White House's 2 unbiased AI principles. These 2 principles, included in the executive order, state that AI must be truth-seeking or based in historical accuracy, objectivity, and scientific inquiry, and also have ideological neutrality by not building models based on partisan beliefs. The OMB acknowledged that AI products are often sold to agencies through government resellers, and that actual AI developers will need to be willing to collaborate with resellers for information sharing and potential direct product interventions. Agencies were told to avoid requesting sensitive technical data, such as specific model weights, and to seek only enough information to assess risk management. This includes the vendor's acceptable use policy, along with information on the model, system, or data that may come in the form of training process summaries or model evaluation scores. LLMs can also provide product resources or developer guides and must create a way for end-user feedback. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.